we put in her. So you have to click on the add. So once you've added in as, then you can go in and actually talk about when it, again, her start date, which it obviously didn't carry forward. Not sure why. That in here. Her end date, her percent effort. So there you go. So she's going to be doing 70% effort on this. What percentage is she going to be charging to this? She's going to be charging 50%. What kind of period is it? It's academic, and we're going to save. Save. We're actually going to see the requested salary. Should. So obviously I put in Inez at 9 million instead of 90,000, so she's got a pretty big salary here. We'll leave that alone just so it make the numbers look impressive, if nothing else. So there we go, total sponsor costs so far. So now it's starting to fill in some of this information. It now knows something about what we're doing and what some of the costs are. Any questions about putting in folks, putting in personnel? Alrighty, moving on. So again, in the non-personnel section, we're seeing budget periods. So we could start with the first one, we could start with the fifth one. Generally speaking, you're going to start with the first one, and you're going to calculate that stuff and push it forward. And I'll show you that in just a second as well. So there's your budget overview again, same tab that you saw in the first one. But here's the section for putting in things like equipment. Let's say we've got an object code. These are object codes, again, that would come from your institution. Say we need a tractor for this. We're going to do some agricultural work. We need one, and it costs $240,000. See if we can get that one right. You can add as many in here as you need. And you can also add a description in here. Excuse me. So we got our tractor in, show our line item details. We can put budget justification. We need it. The important thing about budget justification to know is that all those budget justifications actually flow forward into, or you can pull them from a section later on so that you can get all the justifications in one place, which is helpful. So again, we got start and end dates, inflation rates. So do we want to apply inflation to this or not? What's the budget category? Is it on campus or off campus? Is there specific cost sharing related to this one thing? All right, so we got a section for travel. So again, we're going to be doing international travel. We're going to be doing what are we going to be doing here? So we're doing some travel for personal development. We're going to be sending 2 people. It's going to cost $500. You add that, again, you get the same section with being able to put in budget justification for that. Under the line item details, they need to learn stuff. Okay. So, let's say on this one there's, for whatever reason, there's $100 of cost sharing or something. Highly unlikely, but another section for participant support and another one for other. So you have all kinds of stuff that you can put in here. And what other stuff are you doing? I need some chemicals for this. I save this. All right. What you'll see now in the summary tab that was completely blank before, we actually have information. All that information is in the first period. But there's our information, and there's our total. They should add up. Obviously, they do, which is great. Now, if we went back to personnel, here, that's back up again. Now you got this button here that says apply to later periods. You click this button. Now you go back. Now Inez's salary has been rolled out onto each one. We didn't say apply inflation rates, so we're not seeing any change in her salary. If you had applied inflation rates, you would be seeing that. So now we got a budget for all 5 years. And if you needed to make modifications, you would go into the individual periods. So let's say, in the 5th year, she's not going to be on the 5th year, or she's going to be leaving early. You click on that fifth period, you update your view. Looks exactly the same as the view you had before, but you can go in and modify this, and you'll see that it shows you over and over again period 5, period 5. So if you're jumping around a bit, it is helpful that it does remind you of what period you're in as well as what's at the top here. Okay, distribution and income. It thinks we've got 5 cost sharing items already. And that's because I said that Inez is going to be 70% applied and 50%, 70% applied and 50% paid for. So we've got a pretty big cost sharing here. Obviously, we don't really have a lot of people that are making that kind of money, but this is where it automatically identifies for you that you've created a cost sharing situation within your proposal, and how are you going to handle that? So you can put in individual line items for percentages of that cost sharing. And then obviously you can put in a source account, which would come out of your financial system. Where's that money coming from? Who's paying for this this cost sharing? Which obviously is often a major issue. There isn't any unrecovered F&A listed on this, or it would be automatically put in here. And if you had project income coming in, this is where you'd put that information in. So you'd say, okay, in the first period, I had bake sale. I'm obviously trying to be humorous. And cookies, and you can put information in here, and you would actually add this, and then it would allow you to put sorry, bake sale doesn't go here, the money goes here. So we made $320. Now the income, as you start putting it in, will all add up along here. So you have a nice auditable section where you can find what project income came in, what period did it come in on this budget. Again, the modular budget is not available here. If we went back to, parameters. Yes, okay. And we change this to being a modular budget. Save. It'll actually populate information into that tab. So maybe we want to go ahead and develop the budget within this, but we know we're going to submit a modular budget. Huh? Well, it didn't do what it supposed to do. Obviously, does accurately. Let's check into that. It's supposed to populate the information back into the modular budget from your actual budget. And here's our budget actions tab. So remember I said each one of these documents has an actions tab. So there's the place where you can print out the individual forms to see what it's going to look like. Here's that section for budget justification I was referring to. If I consolidate expense justifications, click on this button, you'll see that it populates the information about where I put it in. So period 1, I said I need equipment. I said we need it. I said we're doing travel, and then I said they need to learn stuff. All the information that you put in those justifications will flow in here, making it easy for you to grab it in one section, copy and paste it, put it wherever you need to do that. There's also a section for sub-award budgets here. So if somebody gives you the sub-award budget in the PDF format, it'll actually extract the XML and put that information into the budget. This is a pretty cool functionality. It doesn't truly have sub-award functionality yet for being able to track and deal with sub-awards. That is another module which is coming out in December. So it's pretty exciting stuff that's coming down the road. All right. I think I've covered everything I wanted to try and cover. I think I might actually have some time left too. So hopefully you guys have